Okay, it's Friday, so we're gonna do some review problems and give you some time to work on those or the assignment. I'm gonna spend about the first maybe 20 minutes uh going over a review problem, and then we'll spend about 10 minutes looking at the assignment and this week getting you prepped for that. And then second half of class we'll let you decide what you want to do as far as if you want to do a review problem, work on the assignment, or get caught up on some of the other stuff here. So again, we're in Unit 11. I'm just going to go down to the practice problems here and look at those. A lot of these are kind of looking at different ways of working with arrays, like searching through arrays or using multidimensional arrays. In the last class, there's this wide receiver problem where wide receivers are a player in American football. And so we have data on those. So like here we print off, we have the name of a receiver, the number of receptions, the yards they traveled, and then how many touchdowns, how many scores they got there. And this is stored in one big array, at least these data values are here. So we have one big multi-dimensional array of wide receiver data where the first feature or the first index is what kind of column it is. So this is the 0th column, first column, second column. And then the second index is the player number here. So like this 120 would be column 0 and player 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, player 4 here. So we store all this data in this array and manipulate that a little bit. I'm going to do a different problem here. I think I'm going to do the golf or the deck of cards one and just talk about that a little bit here. So here we're going to try to keep track of a deck of cards. And so like here's a picture of a deck of cards. Each deck of cards has a value, ace, 2, 3, jack, king, queen, etc. And then a suit, spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds there. So we're gonna want an array for a whole deck of cards here. And we're gonna make a two-dimensional array. And the first row is going to be the suit. It's going to be one of these values, and the second one is going to be the card value here for this. So let's just look at how we might do that. I think I'm going to start with just a keep track of the let's do the value. Well, let's do suits first, I guess. Here. For this array. So again, I'm going to create a new project. And I'm just going to grab these two lines, which are my initial stuff, and put that in my thing here. And let's just see if I want a bunch of cards. So I'm going to want a deck of, there are 52 cards. I want a deck of a two-dimensional array of 52 strings here. So I'm going to declare a string bracket bracket. That's going to be my deck of cards. And if you remember, how do I generate an array here? I'm going to say I'm going to say new, and then it's going to be string, and then again, bracket, bracket. Now, um, I think initially I'm just going to make it a single dimensional array just to try that out for this. So a single dimensional array, and I'm going to have uh, 52 cards in the single dimensional array. And I want to store, let's just store, like if I look at my picture, um, if I wanted to store the suits here of each card, there are 13 spades and 13 clubs. So I'd want it, I could store those in here. So I could say deck, the first card is just deck 0. And I want to store, let's see, what was this first, the spades first here. So I'm going to say is a spade. And then the next card is also a spade. So I look at my picture of my cards here. The first is a spade, the second is a spade, the third is a spade for this. I'm gonna go deck here, spade, and let's just do this a bunch of times. The third, the next card, the next card, the next card. I'd have a whole bunch of spades, and eventually I'd want to have a card that's not a spade. So maybe card 14 would be, what's my next suit? Hearts would be a hearts. Um, and then 15 would be heart and 16 would. Now I don't want to do this all by hand here. And I do have these values up here. I should be able to set those up. So could I at least create a deck of cards that had, 13 hearts, 13 spades and everything. So how would I do that? So maybe I'd want to do a loop. I'd see this count, this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all those. I just think I should be able to do that in a loop. So I'm going to go from count equals 0, count less than 13, count plus plus. And then I'm going to say deck sub count equals spades. So I should be able to do that here. So now I'm creating a bunch of spades, 13 spades here. And then I'd want to start, and I'd want to start at the next 13 cards. That's 13 times 2, 26. So from 13 to 26, I'd want those cards to be hearts. Okay, so I do 13 spades, I do 13 hearts, I do 13 clubs. So I'd repeat this. And repeat it again. So I do clubs. And then I do diamonds. But every time I've got to get, so I do, this would go from like 26 to 39. Is that what? And this would go from 39 to 52. And I want to print off my deck of cards. I think I'm going to make a little separate routine to print off my deck of cards. So public, static, void, print, deck, where I provide this string, my deck here. How do I print off? I'll go through a deck of cards here. I could go through, I could use a for each, a for loop for I equals 0, I less than the size of the deck dot length, I plus plus, and I'm just going to do system dot out, print line, oops, system dot out, print line, deck sub I. Now, if I run that, will it print out will it work? Oops, I have to then call my print deck. Up here in my main routine, I want to say print deck and pass it my deck of cards. So here's my deck of cards. It doesn't have any suits. I mean, it doesn't have values, but it has it. So we have a bunch of spades, a bunch of hearts, a bunch of clubs, a bunch of diamonds. So it looks like I'm getting there. Again, I'm excuse me, I'm just right now doing the suits here for this. Now, I don't like the fact that I have to put in all these numbers in here and that I have 4 loops that all look about the same. They all are counting 13 here. There. And I could actually set them all up so they went from 0 to 13. If I did some finagling, I could set them all up to go from 0 to 13. I would just say here I'd use count. Here I'd use count plus 13. Here I do count plus 26. And here I do count plus 39. Here I think would be our value. So really this is like 13 times 2. And this is 13 times 3. And 13 is just actually 13 times 1. And this is actually count plus 13 times 0. I'm beginning to see a pattern here where I can make these loops the same if I have 4 times. So I could make, maybe, can I stick another loop around here, a loop that does it 4 times for maybe this will be suit. I'm going to go, well, S count equals 0, S count is less than 4, S count plus plus. And then inside that, I'm going to do this, one of these loops here. But here, rather, I have 13, and rather than times 1, I'm going to multiply that by the suit count. here. So it's going to take the count plus 13 times the suit count. So again, the suit count will be 0 at first. So the first time it'll be just the count plus 0, 0, 0, 0. And then when this is 1, it'll be count plus 13. That'll be this one. And then count times 13 times 2. That was 26. I'll take care of that. The only thing I want is I want a different suit each time. I have an array of card suits up here. I should be able to use that. I've been wanting to use that. I think I can use card suit, and it's an array of 4 things. I have my S count going for 4 things. So I think I can do this here, and then I can get rid of all this. I need an int here to make it happy. Let's see. I need to move these inside I stuck them in there. They need to be inside my main, I think. Okay. So how is this working? If I run this, I get a bunch of hearts, a bunch of diamonds, a bunch of clubs, a bunch of spades. So I'm able to create my deck of cards here, at least for the suits, and fill this in randomly now, or right, well, that way. Now I want to have another deck of cards, or I want the card values here for this. And so what this is doing, asking me, is stored in a 2-dimensional array here, where the first, so basically what I want to do is I just want a 2-dimensional array, and I want how big is this array? So like here's would be like one hand of 4 cards, but I actually want this to be for the whole deck of cards here. So I want, let's see, what do I have first here? I've got hearts first. So let's look at what that would be. So my first card would be a heart, and it would be an ace of hearts. That's the first card in my, well, the way I have this is hearts is first, an ace of hearts, and then I want 2 hearts here. So I'd want an ace of hearts, and I want a whole bunch of hearts. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. And eventually I'd have a king of hearts down here. And then I want to do the same thing, but with my next thing would be diamonds. I'd want to do a whole bunch of diamonds here. Then I have an ace of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, 3, 4, 5, king down to king of diamonds. And I do the same thing again, but for clubs and spades. So then I would get, my deck would have 52 values here. So here my first column would be 0, and this would be 1. So I want to, basically this is a 2-dimensional array. There's 52 values in it for this. So I'm going to redo my array here. My deck of cards is going to be a 2-dimensional array. The first one is going to be just 2 values, 2 columns. Is it this column, the suit column, or the value column? Those are my 2 columns. And then the next one is which row in that it is. So again, going down which row of this. So I'm basically creating this table of values here. So if my suits are here, I'm always going to put the suits in zeroth. So every time I reference the deck, I'm going to stick, if it's a suit, I'm going to say, put that in the first column or the zeroth column here. Now I have to fix my printout a little bit here. I'm now printing out a two-dimensional array for this. I have to kind of change my printout. So I'm going to print out that. So I'm generating this array, this all these cards. Let's see, is this still working? Getting very many cards. Oh, let's see if that works. And now I'm getting all my 52 cards here. But I also want, so I set up all the suits in the first column. So I've got that. I want to set the values in the second column. So I'm going to do kind of like what I did here and mimic this loop for the second thing. I better put in some comments because this is very confusing code. Assign all the suits. This will be assign all the values. So I'm going to loop through, and I'm going to switch this now. This time I'm going to loop through 52 times, which is 4 times 13. But this time I'm going to go from 13 here to, and then this will be 4 here. And 13 is I'm going to call that my value count. And I've got to figure out how to do this. Right, so I'm going to switch this array stuff around. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. So right now I have an ace of hearts, an ace of hearts. I have 4 ace of hearts, a 2 of hearts 4 times, a 3 of hearts 4 times. So that's not quite what I want here. It's going up to kings, but again, not quite what I want. So I have to do, I'm doing this values. I'm going to switch these 2 loops around. What my inside loop and my outside loop, I'm going to swap around here. So I'm going to go 4 times, and then I'm going to count to 13 and do that as the inside loop. Let's see if that's going to work. So now I have the ace of hearts. I've got that working, but now heart, ace, ace, ace is 4 times. So again, I'm using a count here where I shouldn't for this. So I think I should be doing something different. gets confusing here. I've got these two different counts. This one is actually my suit count. Uh, and this is my value count. So how do I figure out what spot I am in the deck here? So I'm going to take my yeah, see if that's right. Still getting four aces in a row and four twos in a row. Um, oh, I think yeah, card. So I'm taking my suit count times four times my value count. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna want to switch those around, I think. So this should be I just want to take my value count and then four times my suit count. Okay, I wasn't happy with that. Ace, two, three, four. Yep, that's looking good. Okay, and actually, I don't want to even, I just want to do so ace, two, three, four, ace, two, three. Oh, I'm just going, that's weird. Okay. I'm not going to go in anymore. I thought I had this right. I'll fix this while you're working on stuff and show you it. Something's not quite right with one of my loops here. Uh, um, okay, so but I want to jump into the assignment here. So let's do that real quick. So let's talk about the assignment. So assignment, we're going to look at astronomical images here. These are from a telescope, a couple of telescopes from NASA. And what we see these fuzzy images, particularly from these ground-based telescopes, because what we get, especially shooting through the atmospheres, we get a lot of noise in these images. So we have these noisy images here, and we're going to combine those into a clear image for this. We often do this to clear up the image. We can do it often to even to increase with different calculations the amount of brightness. I don't know if you have a phone and if you've ever taken night sky pictures with your phone out there, like of the Northern Lights, or like last month there was a comet that was out here. I don't know if you took you could barely see the comet, but if you took a picture of it with your phone with night view, it got a lot brighter because your phone actually takes about 10 pictures of it and then stacks those all up to and increases the brightness, combines the brightness of those. So we're going to do something similar to that here. So you've got to download this. You can download this zip file. Just make sure if you do, go into your downloads and unzip it. Do the extract all and then open it up. Or you can go to this GitHub repository, copy that, and then go to team, git, clone. If clone's not there, you might have to switch up what project you're on over here and finish there. Oops, I've already done this. Uh, Now, this is a big project with lots of images, so it'll take a while. So if you're downloading it, you'll have to watch for it to download. Here, if you're doing it, it might take a while. And then you just open that up here. So it should be called Image Stacker. And then inside that is just one file, Image Stacker, for this. Now you can actually run this. So let's see, right out the box, let's see, what does it say? Okay, here's our data set. Okay, the program should run out of the box. So test it, run it. You were prompted to select a image directory, and you can select an image and you can choose one of 6 subdirectories there and click the process button. So we're going to run this. So once I get it in, run it, it pops up this window here. Excuse me, and you want to hit browse and you want to find a folder inside the NASA noisy images. So I'm going to go inside NASA noisy images. I'm going to click one of these folders. I'm not going to go inside that folder. If I go inside that folder, there's nothing. I mean, I won't see it. I just have to click on the folder and say open. So that's the folder. Inside that folder are the images, but it just needs the folder. And I'm going to hit process. It shows, again, it says one of the original images, and this will be one of the original images here. And I'm going to hit OK. It'll process that and it'll show the refined image. Right now, the refined image is kind of black because we're not doing anything. Okay, now I can close this to stop it. So what do we have to do? Open the image stacker Java file. All the code you write will be in the method called average pixel value. So at the top, there's an average pixel value. Don't modify anything outside this file. I mean, this method. It's the only place you need the main, all that stuff. Leave that all alone. You're given a 2-dimensional array of images. The first value is what image it is, like image 1, image 2, and the next one is what pixel value is. So if I wanted to look at a pixel here, I would say, let's see what I say. I'd say images sub, like what image, zero, the first image 0, and then what pixel, I would say like 450. So images is what you have. Images, and then this would be the image. So maybe image 2, and then this would be the pixel, pixel 680 or something like that. Now we're in a loop here. We're going through all the pixels. There's about 2 million pixels in every image, and so we are looping through all those pixels. So I have this pixel index. This is what we'll be using in this loop. This would be pixel 2 in image 2. I could actually, let's see if I can just print this out. You probably don't want to print this out, but I do, just to see. So I'm going to print off each pixel index here, and I'm going to run this. I'm going to locate an image, folder, hit process. There's that one. Now it's going to process. Okay, I'm going to stop this. Okay. Stop. Okay. So again, it's printing out all these image values here for this. So these are all, and again, this is the second image, and it has 2 million pixels. So we print out 2 million different numbers here for this. So I don't want to just print these out. I want to do something with them. So I have another array, the averages array. I could say averages equals that. And again, average array has a bunch of pixels, so I could use it is an image, so I could say the pixel index. So if I say averages of pixel index equals images sub 2 pixel index, so I gotta be an extra brace there. Averages, and averages is what is returned here. So if I do that, browse NASA noisy images, select one of these images. Oops, went too far. Select one of these. Hit browse. Now here's my original image, and here's my updated image. But the updated image is just one of the original images here. I'm just copying image 2 over there. So your job is not just to copy image 2, but to average all the images. So like maybe you'd say something like, let's just average 2 of the images. So I'd average image 1 and image 2. So maybe I just sum them up. If I did that, browse, oops. Now, if I do this, I hit OK, it's going to try to do this, and it's going to give me an error. Color parameter outside of range blue. So again, I have to do averages here. I can't add things up here. So again, I want to try to find the average color value or pixel value. I'm going to add up those and divide by 2. Here's my first image. And here's maybe a little bit clearer one. So I don't know if that's much clearer. Again, so you want to do this. This is just averaging 2 of the images. You want to average all 10 of the images. So there's some nice instructions on how you can set this up here. So see if you can get that to work and how that works for you. Any questions on this? Okay, so today you have a couple choices. If you never finished a pesky tourist analysis or problem, you can go look at that again. Ask if you need help with that. We did Conway Life. If you didn't finish that up on Wednesday, you can work on that. There's still more practice problems you can try out. I'm going to try to finish up this deck of cards one, which is harder than I thought it would be. Interesting. I'm going to have to make that. Look at that. And then, or you can work on your image stacker. So feel free to work on any of that stuff for the remaining class. And I'll wander around and help answer any questions you may have. Uh, yeah, so, um, so, you don't see the OK button, do you? Can you change the resolution on your screen?